Before I get started, I would like to preface this video with the following. Movies are subjective, so what one person may like, somebody else might not like, and vice versa. And that's completely okay. That's where discussion comes from, and having difference of opinions. Of anything in this world that is okay to have two different opinions and no one's life be at stake, movies are one of them. With that being said, let's talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and happy holidays to you. It was just Christmas here in the United States, and we were treated with the first really big superhero release of 2020 that I can remember. Not counting New Mutants, really sorry New Mutants, but I'm talking about Wonder Woman 1984. This sees the return of Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, and Chris Pine coming back as Steve Trevor. Also with the introductions of Pedro Pascal playing Max Lord, and Kristen Wiig, who is becoming the villainous Cheetah in the movie as well. This is also directed by Patty Jenkins, who was the director of the first Wonder Woman movie, which I honestly say, the first Wonder Woman movie is fantastic. It honestly is. It's probably one of the best comic book movies of that year that came out. It's a really good movie, and I think Wonder Woman is a great character. So with the sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, we see Diana Prince living her life in the 1980s in DC as a curator at the Smithsonian. Just something undercover. She's still doing her Wonder Womaning on the side, but nothing too major. She's still heartbroken over the loss of Steve Trevor after so many years, and just is trying to do what good in the world that she can do. And then all hell kind of breaks loose like most superhero movies. Here's the thing. Before, I was nervous about doing this review because I've seen a lot of discord online and a lot of kind of 50-50 on people's opinions about the movie. And that's why I kind of started the video the way I started it. I gotta say, I enjoyed the movie. I honestly did. It's not without its flaws. And to be completely honest, it's not as good as the first Wonder Woman movie. I think the first one is really well done. It has a great story to it. The characters are fantastic. And honestly, in Wonder Woman 1984, the characters are still fantastic. I still think Gal Gadot is an amazing Wonder Woman. I think she embodies the portrayal of the character really well, almost on par with somebody like Chris Evans as Captain America. She just has she has a warmth to her when she plays the role of Wonder Woman, and you see it throughout the entire movie. She's caring, she's kind. The opening sequence of the movie, there's an action sequence that takes place in a mall. It reminded me a lot of like the Richard Donner Superman movies, where it's a little tongue-in-cheek and it's very uplifting, and there's this cute little interaction she has with this little girl. She's obviously trying to stay under the radar because she takes out like the security cameras during the fight. So you kind of understand she doesn't want to be in the limelight. That's not her desire. And we still see that, in later movies like Batman vs. Superman and Justice League. She's not about being that headliner superhero. She just wants to do the right thing. So I really like that opening action sequence. I really enjoy Gal Gadot's portrayal of Wonder Woman. I think she does a fantastic job. The movie introduces Max Lord, played by Pedro Pascal in the movie, as quote-unquote the villain of the movie. I gotta say, Pedro Pascal has been killing it lately. He's the Mandalorian, if you're not aware of that, but you probably are. And he's played a villain before. He was one of the villains in the sequel to Kingsman. And I think he does a really good job as Max Lord as well. I think he embodies the character of just kind of, they play the character up as a con man, but he has his reasons for trying to be successful. I guess that's just how he's always tried to be in terms of the character, and I think Pedro does a really good job as the character. Even Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, I like the concept of the character in the movie. There are some issues I have with the design of her actual cheetah form in the movie, but that's, again, it doesn't take away from Kristen Wiig's performance as the character. She starts off as kind of a nobody, and she wants to be more than what she actually is. She befriends Diana, and that friendship leads through most of the movie towards the third act, where there is an obvious split, and she becomes more of her villainous side. This movie does have some issues from like a storytelling or a plot standpoint. There's not really like a central villain. It's technically Max Lord in the movie, but it's conveyed in a very uncohesive way, kind of. The plot's very thin. It's basically, there's a mystical artifact that grants wishes, which is how we get Steve Trevor kind of back in the movie, and also how Cheetah develops her powers. And it just it feels very loose. I'm trying not to spoil too much of the movie, but it is a very loose plot line that is, like most story plot lines, I feel like they're just vehicles to help move the characters forward through the entire movie. But this one just felt very, I don't want to say uninspired, but it wasn't the strongest of plot lines. It's not like the first movie had kind of a definitive, this is the conflict, this is what's going on, this is where Diana fits into it. This one, the characters and the performances are all fantastic to me. I connected with Diana's reintroduction with Steve Trevor once he is brought into this current timeline. And that's another relationship interaction about the movie that I really enjoyed, was the 180 from the first movie, where in the first movie Diana was the fish out of water and Steve Trevor was kind of like her guide in the world of men, whereas in this time Steve Trevor is the titular fish out of water, and he's in a new time, so Diana has to be that hand that guides him through his time in 1984. And there's some really good comedy between Diana and Steve when they're trying to get him acclimated to his new situation for the time being. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed the action of the movie. There are some points in the movie where I was like, it didn't look right. There's a scene or two where Diana is running at super speed, so to speak. And I don't know how they did it from a production standpoint, but I could tell she was like on a harness and she was running. And if you've ever seen like Team America World Police, where the marionettes move around screen, it felt like that. There are fight sequences where she uses her lasso of truth, which look great. I loved them. I thought they were fantastic. They found a way to incorporate the invisible jet, which I thought was a really cool nod to her classic comic, and as well as some of her other newer abilities that they introduced later on in the years of the comics going on. So I thought all of those elements and effects were really well done. I did mention about Kristen Wiig's Cheetah. I wasn't a fan of her actual cat form in the movie, which you see in the trailer. It looks like Cats, the movie, and that didn't look right. I would have rather it have been like shorter hair or something like that, just not the weird, like, crazy. It didn't look as good as I wanted it to look, but it didn't take away my overall enjoyment of the movie. The third act isn't necessarily as strong, very similar to the first movie. It kind of, the story and the plot just kind of wrap up on their own. I chalked everything up to magic, and that was fine. And because the character deals with gods and mysticism and stuff like that, so I just kind of chalked it up to that. It didn't take away my enjoyment of seeing the interactions between Diana and Steve, and kind of the de-evolution of Cheetah to her final form. The action was enjoyable, minus some of the weird running stuff. I think they did it better in Civil War, Captain America Civil War, where they used a treadmill and they had Chris Evans and Chadwick Boseman running on that, which gave them the illusion of super speed. I'm very surprised they didn't try that with this movie, because you can kind of tell that weird marionette thing. Just, it looked a little off personally. Again, there were so many other good action sequences in the movie that I didn't linger on it too long. Like I said, the plot was very loose, which I can see why some people had issues with the movie, especially from a plot standpoint. It really just felt very confusing, because there was a mention in the movie of some sort of trickster god in regards to the MacGuffin of the movie, and I was assuming that was going to be the reveal of some sort of person behind the strings controlling the actions of Max Lord. But really that never came to be. And I think that for me, from a plot standpoint, felt very confusing. Those things aside, I still enjoyed the characters. I still enjoyed the performances. I love Gal Gadot I'm sorry if I'm messing up. Gal Gadot. I love her portrayal of Wonder Woman. I think it's fantastic. And that really is what held the movie together for me, and especially the relationship, the rekindling of the relationship with Chris Pine. There was some real good closure with that relationship, which I liked. I love the design of the golden suit. It looks kind of weird, but the movie takes place in 1984, and I think from a design standpoint, I think they really utilized the 84 setting really well. I thought the costumes look great. I love the golden armor from just a silhouette look. I really like the armor. It's kind of pointless. It's more of a look thing, but I really enjoyed it. I really thought the armor was a nice touch. I don't see it coming back for another movie. They just announced they're planning to do a third one. To some people's rejoicing or dismay, they are planning on doing another one. This doesn't really tie in too much beyond just the first movie. So there's no real future references to BVS or Justice League in this movie. And that's something with a lot of the DC movies going forward, I feel like it's going to be like, until they decide to give the shared universe thing another try. I think a lot of them are going to just kind of stand on their own and kind of be their own thing. And that's what this felt like. It felt like its own thing, but from a plot standpoint, it's not the strongest. It's definitely not as strong as the first movie. I still think the first Wonder Woman movie is fantastic. This one is okay. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. I definitely understand that the movie is not perfect. I definitely understand it has a lot of flaws. I don't think it's as bad as what a lot of people say. But again, everyone's got their own opinion about movies that they like, movies that they don't like. I like certain things other people don't like. It's totally fine. That's what movies are. They're subjective. You're going to connect with something more than I'll connect with something, and I'll connect with something more than other people connect with something. That's all it is. And I think I connect a little bit more with Wonder Woman 84 than something like New Mutants. Or I find the first Wonder Woman much better than this one, but I still see the value and the benefit of this movie. I don't feel like this was a bad of a movie as a lot of people think. I think some people had it on a higher pedestal because of the first movie. You know, I kind of take things one movie at a time. That's just how I see it, but everyone sees stuff differently, and that's totally cool. This movie does have a pretty dope cameo at the end of the movie, which I highly recommend checking out. I loved it. I thought it was a great cameo, and I really feel like it's just a cameo. I don't think they're going to try to incorporate this person into future movies, but I think it was just a lovely nod to that person who made the cameo. You can kind of guess who it is, but overall, I liked Wonder Woman 1984. I think it's okay. I think it's a decent watch. It has a lot of plot issues and some story issues, but I was able to look past them and just kind of enjoy the characters, the conversations, the acting in between, and the fight sequences. I really enjoyed. I think the third act was kind of weak, but that's, I thought the first movie's third act was pretty weak as well. Overall, I don't think it's a terrible movie. It's not necessarily it's definitely not better than the first one, but I don't think it's a bad watch. I think it's not an easy watch. Well, I found it easy. Again, to each their own. But if you did or didn't like it, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you for watching this and all of my videos. I truly do appreciate it. I just wrapped up my spoiler reviews for all the episodes of Mandalorian Season 2. They are on the channel now. So please check them out and let me know what you think. I've got a few more videos I'm going to try to squeak out before the end of the year. 2020 has been such a train wreck. But I really appreciate you sticking with me, helping me get over 200 subscribers, and just, hanging out and being along for the ride. I really do appreciate it so much. So until next time, you can follow me on all the social media listed at the end of the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.